expand on that, if you can, a bit more about yourself and what you do.
So I am a career confidence imposter syndrome coach for professional South Asian women. I've been in the coaching industry for about 2 years. And initially I came into the coaching industry because I had a passion for coaching. And I decided to go down the route of imposter syndrome because it resonated very closely to my own story.
Okay.
Recently, I decided to delve into career coaching because I know imposter syndrome and a lack of confidence really does affect many professional South Asian women.
Okay. And so like you said that you qualified, what, about 2 years ago?
Say that again, sorry.
Did you qualify about 2 years ago, did you say?
Yes, I delved into coaching a couple of years ago. It was about a year ago. I am a ICF life coach, certified life coach, and I specialize in imposter syndrome coaching, especially when it comes to career coaching. I know it affects a lot of women, and with myself, I think I started in a professional career many years ago. And at the time, I was the only South Asian woman in the office and the only Muslim as well. So I think there wasn't this sense of belonging, and it developed a bit of lack of confidence, which I didn't realize at the time. But as I progressed into my career, I noticed how it was holding me back in comparison to my peers.
Yes, that's really, really interesting. And I'm sure, like you said, a lot of women can relate to that. And, you know, certainly I can as well, you know, because quite often, you know, I think coming from the South Asian community, sometimes as women, we're not always vocal. We're not always given the opportunity to express our opinion or our viewpoint. And so like you, when I was, and I'm still in the professional environment, but I had a couple of positions, job roles where I just thought, you know, I don't feel comfortable here. As much as I was confident, as much as I was experienced in these roles, in these seniors roles, there were times when I just thought, well, you know, who's going to listen to me? You know, why would they take on board what I've got to say? And that came, just like I said, despite my experience, despite my confidence and me actually being passionate about those roles and being in an amazing team, I didn't have that self of belonging. You know, I just felt, you know, that I don't think that my viewpoint matters. And I really do believe that what you're saying is that the imposter syndrome for some South Asian women can emanate from, you know, their cultural environment, their home environment and the background that they emanate from. So that's really, really interesting. So can I just ask you, what does your coaching entail? How do you support these South Asian women?
So the coaching, I do one-on-one coaching with professionals who have this desire inside them. They know they can do a lot more than what they are currently doing, yet this lack of confidence and imposter syndrome is holding them back from going for those senior roles or taking on those opportunities which could help them to move up the career ladder. So my coaching, it's basically overcoming imposter syndrome, gaining career clarity, really being that authentic, confident self, being able to speak up at meetings, sharing your ideas, and then positioning yourself in a way where you are seen and respected as a leader so that you stand out of the competition for prospective employers. So really it's helping people get a promotion in their current role, or if they are looking for a new opportunity, helping them to secure that.
And, you know, as you said, I'm really interested because you said that you had actually experienced the imposter syndrome. Can you just maybe expand a bit more about that? And how did you actually overcome, you know, the imposter syndrome through your own personal experience? Because I'm sure lots of women would want to know that.
So with imposter syndrome, I think it came about in the 1970s. There was a study done on high achieving professional women saying they felt this inadequacy, not feeling as confident, having self-doubts. But later on, it transpired it also affects men too.
Oh, yes, yes.
So That's where it came about from, but I think it's always been around. If you're in a high competing environment, say your professional career, you're a high achiever, you're more likely to struggle with imposter syndrome and have this feeling of inadequacy, even though you've got evidence contrary to that. You've probably got qualifications, you've got experience, but yet there's this voice inside you that tells you you're probably not as good enough as the others.
And why would you say that happens? Why do we, and like you said, in this respect, South Asian women, why do you think that we experience that imposter syndrome? Because as you've mentioned and I've mentioned, I have on occasions experienced that. What triggers it?
I'd say what triggers it are a number of things, and you really need to get to the core of what has actually triggered it. It could be cultural upbringing, family upbringing. An example I'll give you, say if there's about 3-4 siblings and you constantly being compared to siblings who are academically high achievers, and then you being labeled as the one who's probably not as clever as them, for example. So then later on in adult life, you probably take that belief with you and you are constantly working hard, trying to prove yourself. And even though you've got to where you want to be, in your mind, you're still where you were all those years ago when you were told you weren't as clever as the others. So it could be from parents, caregivers, teachers. It could even come from being in adult life, for example, being in a toxic work environment.
And you know, studies do show
many people. Sorry, carry on.
I was gonna no, you finish.
I've heard of so many professionals saying that, you know, I was really confident. I was this confident person. I was always able to speak my ideas and really go out there. And then I've gone through this negative situation, say, for example, a toxic work environment, and I've not been given a promotion, or I've not succeeded in the way I wanted to. And what you've done is you've made all that about you, as if there's something wrong with you or you're not good enough. And that may cause imposter syndrome. So it doesn't have to be from a childhood belief, but it can be. It could be from school, or it could be even from a work environment. That negative experience has had that effect on you.
Yes,
That's what might trigger it.
Yes, you know, because certainly, you know, research and theories do show that childhood factors, childhood experiences can then work their way up, and you can experience those problems that you've had in childhood, or the way you've been brought up, family environment can have an influence on your adult life. And in this respect, you know, lacking confidence, not believing in yourself, feeling unsure, can derive from your family background, the way you've been socialized, cultural background. And, you know, as you said that, yes, certainly, being in a toxic environment and not being, maybe not being given the support as you've experienced, the lack of support can also influence you to experience the imposter syndrome. And quite often what you find is that maybe your, non-Muslim, non-Asian counterparts, for example, English women, you know, they're probably more confident. And, you know, in the past, I've actually sat in meetings and thinking, why am I not feeling it? Why do I not feel confident? And, you know, I also agree with you that it is down to childhood experiences, but also the fact that sometimes you're not actually seen to be maybe important possibly as well, or not given the encouragement or the same opportunities. And so it's a variety of factors, as I agree.
Yeah, there's a variety of factors.
Yes.
When you talk about, like, say, white women, or you thinking they are more confident than I am, I'm not. I think it's also important to look at what confidence means to you. What does it mean to you as an individual? What does success mean to you? Because not everybody has to imitate or be like another confident person. So me probably sitting here being all loud and proud, and you probably think, oh wow, she's really confident. But at the same time, I've been across women like that, but from inside, they may still feel like a fraud, or they may still feel like they're going to get found out and they're not being their true selves. So I think confidence comes from a sense of belonging, and it also comes from really understanding who you are as a person, as an individual, and being okay with all parts of your identity.
Mm-hmm. And, also with respect to confidence, like you said, it's about self-belief. It's about believing and knowing who you are and being able to deal with difficult situations. But the imposter syndrome, like you've said, it's a variety of reasons. And no doubt it's something that we're going to be exploring further after the break. So you've come across lots of women who experience the imposter syndrome. How do you actually help them to explore the imposter syndrome and to overcome that? Do you use different techniques?
I am an NLP certified coach as well. So I use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming techniques within my coaching. I use ICF techniques, which are like powerful questioning. So it's a combination of both. So it's a bit of mentoring and mainly coaching. And also it's kind of helping them.
Sahila, I'm sorry, we'll have to have a short break now. So viewers, please do join us after the break, and we're going to be carrying on with this amazing discussion whereby Sahila will carry on discussing the different techniques that are available.
At IBSA Legal Limited, we provide a wide variety of services specialising in immigration, asylum and British nationality law. We take out the stress of the situation whilst you get on with your life so that we can look after the legal issues. For a free 15-minute consultation, contact our experts on 0330 124 5700 or visit our website www.ibsa-legal.co.uk.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Questions on British Muslim TV with me, Mohammed Shafiq.
So critical, and it's so important for our younger generation to get involved in politics and run for office.
Is this vaccine, the various vaccines, halal?
No material which is forbidden in Islam is contained in this vaccine. So that's why it is absolutely halal.
When it's cold out, there is nothing I enjoy more than rustling up hearty winter meals. A quick trip to Sainsbury's helps me to prepare a warm bowl of dal and fresh chapatis with a cup of masala chai. This is all I need for a perfect winter night. Sainsbury's.
Through our immediate emergency response, we are providing cooked food and clean drinking water to these flood-affected people to bring ease in their life and help them ensure their nutrition level and ensure that they are not hungry and to beat the hunger.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, viewers, to the show Let's Talk Show, British Muslim TV. My name is Smina Chiktai, and today here on the show we have Sahila Bibi, who is a career confidence coach and also coaches South Asian women about the imposter syndrome and also how to excel in their career. So just before the break, we were talking about techniques that Sahila uses to support such women who are experiencing problems, particularly imposter syndrome. Sahila, so please, if you can carry on, please.
Yes, I was talking about NLP techniques, neuro-linguistic programming, ICF, powerful questioning techniques, but it really does boil down to the individual and the coach. It's 100% effort from both sides. So I have a one-on-one Career Confidence Unlocked, it's called, program. And once people are a part of that, they're able to overcome that imposter syndrome or be able to manage it better.
Okay.
They're able to show up as their authentic self and not discredit their own efforts. So where they are succeeding, they're able to enjoy that success
Right.
and get to those dream jobs that they're looking for. So these are some of the things people are able to achieve by working with me.
Okay.
But the actual framework and things I use, you only get to know that once you're a part of the program.
Okay, okay. And it's more than just a counselling session, isn't it? You know, for the viewers out there.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, you know, due to the time limits, we're not really able to, you know, expand on the different techniques that you use. But, you know, certainly if anybody was interested, they'd get to find out more about the techniques if and when, you know, they sought support and your expertise to help them. So in terms of the support that you provide them with, the clientele, how long do you have these clients? How many weeks, months, or even years? Is it long term? Is it short term? Or does it very much depend on the client themselves?
It does depend on the client, but typically it's either an 8-week course or a 12-week one-on-one coaching program. So you get one-on-one coaching calls as well as resources, homework to do in your own time.
Okay, okay. And, you know, these courses, are they, you've said courses, so it's a course, is it? It's not like an interactive
It is an interactive, so weekly session. You have coaching like we're speaking now. It will be an online weekly session, messaging support in between sessions, and also you get resources, homework on the side as well.
Okay.
Some people prefer to have weekly sessions, and some people like to have one session every 2 weeks. So it depends on the individual.
Okay. Can you just maybe expand a bit more about the clientele that you have, the kind of support you've talked about the kind of support just generically, the support that you provide them. But what about the kind of issues they experience? You know, what causes them, you know, just very generally, to experience the imposter syndrome? Is it also down to specific, I don't know, tragedies or specific experiences in their life that has led them to experience imposter syndrome? Is it something that can just creep upon you, or, you know, can it be very slow in manifestation?
For some people, it could be a negative experience that they've gone through.
And sorry, can I just ask you, Sahila, is that negative experience within the workplace? Because in this respect, we're talking about career, or can it also be negative experience outside the workplace, which can then have an influence and a detrimental effect in how they perform at work and can lead to the imposter syndrome?
It can be both. It can be both. So if you look at something that would affect your confidence, it could happen because of a relationship breakup. It could happen because of a toxic work environment, or it could even be someone who's really successful at the top of their career, but because they've come from a background where their parents, like say with us, immigrant parents, and they've had a really difficult life, they've had to strive, work hard, and now we're presented with all these opportunities and we almost feel like a fraud. We feel like we shouldn't be here, we don't belong here. So it doesn't have to be always at the start of your career, it can be in the middle or while you're at the top of your career as well.
Sahila, you're definitely talking sense, and it really hits some of my own personal experiences. You know, it really resonates with that as well. You know, what you've said is that it can be based on your personal experience, your family, and also, you know, the positions that you are in within the workplace. It really resonates with myself, and I'm sure with the viewers as well.
Definitely. Like, I know we've been taught, like, always to work hard, put the effort in. So even when we've done all the work, we're in that position, we sometimes discredit it, that I may have been luck, it's probably somebody I knew, but we never give ourselves that, you know, the success and the achievement. We never give our own efforts.
But Sahila, don't you think there's also a wider issue here? apart from, you know, our own maybe personalities, apart from our own experiences, you know, the wider issue also is that if you haven't got the right support network, you haven't got the right kind of people around you, that can also affect your confidence and can lead to the imposter syndrome. Would you not say?
Yes, it could, but then it is, I'm always of the opinion that it's always up to you to create that change. You can have those network. I mean, not everybody's born with a golden spoon. Not everybody has this brilliant network. It can be done. And I mean, with the world of social media these days, we've got access to everything and everyone. So it is sometimes our own limiting beliefs that'll cause us to stay stuck. And sometimes it's the stereotypes of society of how a Muslim woman should be, or how a South Asian woman is. And you may feel discriminated sometimes in the workplace as well, or you may feel like you're not getting the opportunity that other people are as well. So it is important to have these conversations.
Yes, definitely. And in the workplace sometimes, you know, based on our experiences and based on, you know, cultural factors and our upbringing, I've also experienced it as well. You know, I'm sure a lot of women out there, and also men possibly experience it as well, is that, you know, when you're in these senior positions and maybe you're at a team meeting or you're doing a presentation, sometimes, you know, as you've said, that you don't always feel confident. You don't always have that belief in yourself. And so suddenly somebody is looking at you, or everybody, you know, there's all these people looking at you, and you're maybe presenting a thesis, or you're in a team meeting and someone's asking you about your opinion. And slowly, maybe the imposter syndrome may well creep up. And it's also about, but like you said, it's about belief. And I've been in those situations where I've just thought, oh gosh, they're asking me, they're looking at me. But, you know, one of the things that you have to, what I've done is in the workplace, in the professional environment, I just thought, well, I've gone through the same education system like them. I've got qualifications, I've got a degree, postgrad, XYZ, I've got the experience, so I'm professional just like them. And, you know, coaching yourself subconsciously or even consciously, you know, in that situation can certainly help, apart from, you know, having the support from people like yourself. You know, so certainly, you know, it does resonate.
And also, when you're hearing that voice and whatever it may be telling you, in that moment in time, ask yourself, is this fact or is this fiction? Is there evidence? Is this the truth, or is this something that is just the voice telling me?
Yeah,
if there is no evidence, then it is that imposter voice.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, as you've said, there are ways to deal with it on your own, self-coaching, self-support, having that voice, positive thinking, as well as positive people around you, as well as, you know, support from experts like yourself. So would you say that maybe in some respects, like people would probably say, well, hang on a minute, but you've got a weak faith. You know, you're a Muslim. Your iman is weak. Believe in God. Would you say that maybe as Muslims, one of the reasons why we're experiencing the imposter syndrome is because we lack that sense of faith, we lack that sense of belief, or would you say it's more than that?
I think as Muslims, we have a strong faith. When it comes to our faith, regardless of how practicing we are strong in our faith. But what may be the issue is that rather than concentrating on the qualities of Allah and what He is capable of, we are concentrating more on ourselves. Like, I'm probably not good enough. I probably don't know how to do this, or how is this even possible for me? Girls like me won't get that opportunity. So we make it all about ourselves, and we forget about the power of Allah and what is capable for Allah. And
so it's about having that sense of faith, that strong belief.
Yeah. And I think once we are able to access that again, because your iman will go up and down. When we are able to access that again, and then it is about having that tawakkul in Allah, that I'm going to put my effort in and then leave the rest. I mean, as humans, the worry never goes away. Imposter syndrome can be managed. It becomes really difficult when it's stopping you progressing in your career. But these kind of self-doubt things, they can be managed by yourself as well.
Yeah. But, you know, as we mentioned earlier, it is down to a lot of factors, you know, and one of the factors is that, you know, as South Asian women, there's certain stereotypes about us, certain misconceptions about us, that we're to be seen and to be seen and not heard, to be subservient, or that we come from environments whereby, you know, we've got to be quiet, or we've been oppressed by maybe the menfolk. Yes, maybe for some families, to some extent, that may well be true, but not necessarily for every woman. You know, so sometimes in the workplace there are those stereotypes which can influence the way others, you know, staff members interact with you, and how that can influence, you know, how you feel about yourself. But yes, we need to believe in ourselves, and I think one of the techniques I've always used within the workplace is that I'm a professional just like anybody else.
Yeah.
And having a good supportive network is also good as well. So I wanted to ask you, are there different types of imposter syndrome? Like, you know, certain personalities, are they more likely to be, exposed to the imposter syndrome? You know, sometimes you've got perfectionists, sometimes...
Studies have shown there's about 5 different types. There's the natural genius.
So Hila, can you just answer very quickly, because we've got a very short time left? Sorry.
Yeah, there are 5 types, but I'd say if from childhood you've been a overperformer, you've set yourself high expectations, then you're more likely.
Okay, so Hila, I'm so sorry, we've run out of time. Okay. So viewers, I do hope you've enjoyed the show today, but please do tune in next week, and we're going to have another topic of discussion that will be amazing. Bye for
मुझो नालो आ सकीना लिहाज गोठ में रहता हूँ। बरसात बहुत ज़्यादा पई, घर बुढ़ी या बच्चा वठी भगा से, सिर्फ बच्चा भगा से, कुछ न बचो, जायूं किरी पियूं कचूं हूँ, पेट ढवलाए